Right, board is in, let's turn over. Stand speed.
That's 104, take one.
And 3, 2, 1, action.
My name's Danny Ashok and I play Shahid Akhtar. Prior to doing this job, I was involved in a BBC miniseries called Capital, where I played one of many leads in that show. And I believe that's what got the attention of Oz, who directed the film. Although I felt as if there was a ton of potential with the script, it was largely because of Oz. I felt like I really wanted to be involved in it. The first audition, I wasn't too sure quite what to expect, but I sort of realized from that audition and the recall for this part that Oz is a guy who had a ton of belief in the script. He wasn't someone who was insanely precious about the material. He was willing to change bits and pieces if it needed to be changed for the better of the story. And that really made me want to collaborate with him and work with him on this project. Yeah.
So the other day I'm at a marriage meeting, or as Muslims call them, a meeting. And I'm sat there with the mum, she's staring daggers at me. I'm sat there with the girl, my future bride, my potential future bride. And she decides it'd be a good idea to get her rabbit out. But let's keep it halal, people. Her actual pet rabbit.
My character Shahid is a guy who's about to turn 30. He's reaching a crossroads in his life where everything around him just seems to be failing. His business that he started is going down the drain. At the same time, he has been married about 10 years prior to where the film starts, and he is now divorced and on the hunt to try and find a new wife. He's having no luck because of the divorce label that seems to hinder him. Just as with Shahid, I'm also at a crossroads in my life as well. You know, I'm in a profession that isn't always reliable. At the same time, you know, feeling that pressure from family to settle down and start a family as well. So those two elements certainly resonated with me. I hope that comes across in the film, that there's a connection there that I feel with the character. I think Shahid is far more awkward than I am. He seems to be a normal person in a very insane world. I like to think that I have a better grip on life than Shahid does. I wouldn't say it was hard to connect to, but it's one of those things where you just really have to try and put yourself in the character's shoes and just think, wow, this guy has not got a good life right now. And you have to try and imagine your life like that, yeah.
To be honest, since meeting you, I feel that if I failed at anything, I know I'd bounce back stronger.
She blushed. They share a moment and smile.
Family. You've met half of my family, so maybe let me meet yours.
It feels odd that there are no lines from Shahid in this scene. Is that just like a thing?
Yeah, that's a no from me actually.
Right?
The rehearsal process for us, we had 3 days before we started filming. It was great for me to work and rehearse with Asmara so that we could build a chemistry with each other that will hopefully come across in the film as well. Yeah, in terms of working with Oz, it was great because, as I mentioned with the auditions, Oz was always great at letting you improv and ad-lib stuff, and if you went too far, he would sort of try and rein it back in, as any good director would do. But if there was an idea that he liked, he'll be very willing to just play and let it evolve into what he feels will fit into the script. And it was a lot of fun. It was just 3 days of just playing, which is always good to do.
What time is it? We are in my little restaurant. It's 4:45 a.m. Even animals aren't awake at this time of the day. It's ridiculous. The moon is still out. It should be illegal for anyone to be awake this early, quite frankly. My bags have bags, which is quite an achievement even for me. So it should be a fun shoot. Yeah.
In terms of the production, yeah, everything was on a tight schedule, which was to be expected because, because of the budget of the film and trying to make sure we got everything done. But the great thing about working on this particular project was that I think both the cast and the crew were just great throughout, always joking and kidding around, but also at the same time, all of them are incredibly good at the work that they do. That always makes it easier when you can come into a relaxed environment, know that you can have a laugh, but at the same time know that you'll get the work done to a high standard. Obviously there were times where days would overrun or certain scenes might not get filmed. You know, Oz has a certain perfectionist quality within him, and so he wanted to make sure that certain scenes were the way that he envisioned them to be, you know, but that's to be expected and something that I respect in Oz anyway. So.
You're looking very forlorn, you two.
Oh wait, no, I'm just, it's because I'm such a method actress, I'm thinking, no, I'm only lying actually. Lying.
Well, in terms of the cameos that we've had in this film, I suppose my favorite may have been Dave Spikey. I thought he was just fantastic, he was hilarious, and some of the things that he was doing, some of the improv that he was coming up with, just made me want to laugh my head off. At one point, we're in his office, and out of nowhere, he just starts having a conversation with his plant that's next to him, which, even now thinking about it, makes me laugh.
I know, I'm listening, yeah.
Nina Wadia was another one. She plays my mother in the film. It was great actually talking to her because she's so open about the work that she's done in the past, and whether it's EastEnders or Goodness Gracious Me, she's incredible at her comedic timing. So it was just great to witness that and see the things that she brought to the character, and little tiny details that she would put in that just made her character come to life.
This is Yamin, and this is Anis. I'm so sorry, I've spoken before.
My favourite scene to film, I would actually say a bunch of them with Wahab playing Nav. I think we've just come up with this great chemistry with each other, and it's almost like the odd couple because, you know, we're so different and we look so different, but for some reason that seems to really work. He's so funny because he doesn't realize how funny he is. He's got a great face for starters, and just little reactions that he'll do without even knowing that he's doing it just crack me up. Today we were filming quite a long scene, both of us stuck inside this van, but he would just do little things with his face that I had to bite my tongue whilst we were filming because otherwise I would just burst out laughing.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Just another day, right?
I think in terms of this film, in terms of the story of it, it doesn't necessarily play into all the stereotypes that you might expect. It's just a story about a guy, and he feels like his whole life is just going wrong, and he just wants to be happy. He just wants to find a bit of happiness, which is something that I think anyone of any ethnicity, of any religion, of any age can relate to. And I hope audiences come to see the film will see that rather than anything else, will see that it's just a universal story.